This one-of-a-kind build will change NBA 2K24 forever. This build gets a 94 driving dunk, which allows you to absolutely body your opponent with or without right stick dunking. Gets a 94 3-point rating, which means you can green consistently from deep, as well as knock down contested greens without takeover. Gets a 92 ball handling and 89 speed with ball, which means you are incredibly quick and can seamlessly combo together dribble moves to get open every single possession. And most importantly, is the only build in the entire game that gets access to both Ben Shepherd and Tracy McGrady base jump shots, and is also the only build in the entire game that gets access to Michael Jordan dribble style, the extremely overpowered tall guard dribble style that feels exactly like using Kyrie Irving dribble style on a 6'4" and under build. Today we change NBA 2K24 forever. What's up, Simply Squad? It's your boy DEMIGOD grinding, and today we're going to attempt to completely change the meta. Right now in NBA 2K24, 6'6" builds absolutely dominate the entire game, and that's because people think it can't get any better than a 6'6", and I understand why. 6'6" builds can do absolutely everything, right? Well, not exactly. Don't get me wrong, 6'6" builds are extremely good in this game, but they are not as good as it gets. Look at this build on the screen real quick. It is an absolute menace in the paint, while at the same time being so quick and so lethal from three, you can't be stopped on the perimeter and can still play that pure point guard position of throwing absolute dimes to your teammates. But what makes it really special and different from a 6'6" is that it is the only build in the entire game that gets access to Ben Shepherd base and Tracy McGrady base at the exact same time. And it is also the only build in the entire game to get access to Michael Jordan dribble style, which is the sole reason I'm comboing so seamlessly in these clips. Now, with that being said, it's gotta cost a lot to get access to these gate-kept jump shots and dribble moves, right? All you have to do is sacrifice 1 inch. And no, not that type of inch, you freak. If you sacrifice 1 inch of your player build's height, you get a build that is just as dominant with all these extra perks on top of it. I honestly don't know how I haven't done this sooner, bro. This is the most dominant fives build I've ever played on. With access to Ben Shepherd and T-Mac, I'm shooting over people just like a 6'6", but I'm doing it 1,000 times quicker than 6'6" builds because I have access to Michael Jordan dribble style. I think y'all get the point. So today, I'm gonna give y'all this dominant build, which by the way is gonna have 2 versions, one with a low pass accuracy and one with a really high pass accuracy for my pure point guards out there, so make sure you check out both. And then I'm also gonna give you the dribble moves, the jump shots, everything you need to know to dominate on day 1. And all I ask for in return for all this information in one video is that y'all drop a like and drop a sub with notifications on. So with that being said, let's get into this game changer of a build. And speaking of game changers, this video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. The NFL playoffs are here, which means there is no better time to sign up for Underdog Fantasy, because if you sign up right now, you'll get access to this special Lamar Jackson pick where he only has to throw for a single yard. Yeah, you heard that right. So make sure to click the link in the description and sign up using code grinding today, because if you do, Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Not a fan of the NFL? No problem. They offer a multitude of sports such as the NHL, the MLB, nearly any sport that you're into, you can make picks on. So y'all make sure to click the link in the description and sign up for Underdog today. And when you do, make sure to use code grinding, because if you do, they will double your first deposit up to $100. Alright y'all, now for the build. The build we're gonna make is a point guard. The height is gonna be 6'5". The weight is gonna be the lowest possible weight, which is 175 pounds. And the wingspan is going to be 1 lower than the average at 6'9". And of course, all of that is for a reason, which I will explain later. But first, we're going to start with my favorite part of the build, the driving dunk, which is going to be a massive 94 overall rating, which once we complete our physicals will give you insane finishing badges. But right off the bat, you can already see it automatically gives you Hall of Fame Slithery, automatically gives you gold precision dunker, as well as gold area wizard for lobs, bunny for hop step, spin cycle for spin dunks, and two-step for Euro step contact dunks as well. I haven't made a build that has high finishing since my first 6-8 in September, so bro, dunking on this build is the absolute peak of fun for me. And after we do that, we're gonna leave finishing completely alone. We don't even gotta change anything else on it. The next thing we're gonna do is make our three-pointer a massive 94 overall rating. It's going to match your driving dunk rating because it gives you gold agent 3, gold blinders, gold deadeye, silver limitless range, gold catch and shoot, and gold green machine, which are all super important badges. And I didn't even mention Hall of Fame guard up and Hall of Fame space creator because these badges at the top are insanely important. Agent 3 activates on every 3 you shoot. Blinders, when they're next to you, you'll get a lower contest, which is super important. And of course, deadeye, if they jump late, it won't affect the contest as much. Just extremely important badges overall. And once again, after that, we're gonna keep on moving. We're gonna come back to shooting later. We'll adjust some things, but we're gonna keep on moving for now. Your ball handling rating is gonna be a 92 overall rating, which does a couple things. It gives you access to the best dribble moves for 6'5" builds. I'm talking MJ dribble style, Jamal Murray behind the back. Don't worry, I'm gonna give you all the dribble moves at the end of the video. Like I said, I'm gonna give you everything you need to dominate with this build, but basically it gives you all of that, as well as gold unpluckable and gold ankle breaker. And of course, other playmaking badges that you don't see yet because we haven't done our physicals yet. But after that, we're gonna make our speed with ball an 89 overall rating. And then to finish off playmaking, we're gonna make our pass ac a 65. And don't worry, if you think that's a little too low, I will give you options to raise this later on. But all the clips y'all seen in the beginning of me dotting those comp teams, I had a 65 pass accuracy rating and I had no issues whatsoever, but I will give y'all ways to increase this later on. For our defense, we're gonna make our interior defense a 50. You might be saying, grinding, why am I making it a 50? It's not gonna do much. Wrong, it does a lot. It has been proven in the competitive scene that a 50 interior defense is the perfect sweet spot to stop backdoor cuts. You're 6'5", people are gonna try to abuse you, especially if you're in the corner. You need to be able to drop and get a contest on the lockdowns that are gonna be in your corner trying to abuse the fact that you're small. And a 50 interior defense does just that. And last but not least, for our physicals, we're gonna go in 86 speed, obviously for gold speed booster. We're gonna keep our acceleration at a 71. If y'all don't know by now, then you probably haven't been playing 24 for too long. Acceleration is nowhere near as important as speed with ball in speed this year. I know, it's flipped from 23. On 2K23, acceleration was king. This year, it's not as important. Everyone's running around with the 71 acceleration build, and that's because that's the lowest you can get and still make a competitive build. Your strength, you're not gonna touch. You don't need it on this build. Your vertical is gonna be an 82 overall rating, so you can get elite contact dunks off too. If you're not gonna change your driving dunk rating, do not change your vertical rating. It is super important that you get all the contact dunk animations that you can get at a 94 rating, because if not, then why are you going that high on your driving dunk if you're not gonna take advantage of all the contact dunk animations? And finally, to finish off the build, you're gonna have a 99 stamina for gold handles for days, and then you're gonna go to free throw and make it a 71 for bronze free point. And then you have 1 point left over. You can either put on your free throw, or you could put it 2 points in your interior defense if it makes you feel any better. It doesn't matter either way, to be honest, especially if you're gonna put Steph Curry free throw on. You're just gonna be greening it every single time. But this right here is the build that is arguably better than the competitive meta 6'6" builds you see running around, and the reason for that isn't even because of the stats you see on the screen. The reason this build is objectively better is because you have access to Ben Shepherd jump shots, you have access to Tracy McGrady jump shots, and you also have access to the Michael Jordan dribble style, which no other height in the game has access to. Let me repeat that. No other build has access to MJ dribble style other than 6'5" builds. 6'4" and under can't get it. 6'6" and up can't get it. Only 6'5" builds can. And let me tell you, MJ dribble style is glitchy. It's like Magic Johnson dribble style with the misdirection crossover, but you can also speed boost to the same side and the opposite side extremely effectively. I'm telling you, I played season 3 for the first time this week, and I hadn't played 2K for about 2 weeks before that, and it was the smoothest 2K I've played the entire year. It is ridiculous ridiculously easy to get open with this build because of MJ dribble style. Now for the people that feel like 65 pass accuracy is too low, that is completely valid. Usually on most of my builds I shoot for 70 pass ac. I don't like going higher than 70 pass ac. A lot of people like going 87 for bailout. I don't think it's needed if you just make smart decisions. But if you do want to get this build to a 70 pass accuracy, you have two options. You can either lower your 3-point rating or you could lower your driving dunk rating. In between those two options, me personally, I'm lowering my driving dunk rating. I'm lowering it to a 92, and then at that point you can lower your vertical to a 75 and you don't miss out on any badges or any dunk animations, and then you can upgrade your pass accuracy to a whopping 80, and that arguably makes this build even more well balanced. So I'll call this build 2 and I'll call the 65 pass ac 1 build 1. You will miss out on elite contact dunks, which is super fun on this build. I literally just hold X and I get contact dunks. I don't even have the dunk meter with this build because of the 94 driving dunk rating. I'm guessing with a 92 you'll have to use the stick meter more often, which I'm sure isn't a problem for a lot of you, but for me, I don't like using the stick dunk as much as most people do, so I'm gonna stick with my 94 driving dunk build. But this build looks great too. If pass accuracy is a major thing for you, if you really like to be pass first, then this is a viable option you could do. And I told y'all it would be an easy fix to get a higher pass accuracy in the beginning. So if you see a comment down below being like 65 pass accuracy builds automatically trash, they obviously didn't watch to this point. Kindly inform them of this timestamp, if you will, and let them know that there's another option that is an 80 pass accuracy that could still get the same Michael Jordan dribble style as before. Now let me go back to the original build with an 82 vert and a 94 driving dunk, and the build name you get with this build is a floor spacing slasher, which I would say is like probably top 5 build names. It's not the best, but it's up there. It's up there. I like floor spacing slasher. In my experience, 2K players just see the slasher part and they decide to sag off you. They just completely ignore the floor spacing part, which literally means that you're a shooter. But you know, people see slasher, they sag off. It's just how it is. Now, as promised, I'm gonna give you the exact dribble moves and jump shot that I use in this video, as well as an alternative T-Mag jump shot that I really love as well. Alright, so for the dribble moves, we're going dribble style Michael Jordan. It's the whole reason we made this build. It is ridiculously overpowered. We got signature size up Dwayne Wade, regular breakdown combo Ray for Austin, aggressive breakdown combo T-Mac, escape moves Kemba Walker, combo moves John Morant, crossover Kobe Bryant, behind the back Jamal Murray, spin Penny Hardaway, hezzy John Wall, step back John Wall, and the triple threat style is Kobe Bryant. These are by far my favorite dribble moves in the game. Other than Michael Jordan dribble style, of course, I use them on my 6'6" and up as well. Just really easy to combo up. They all flow seamlessly together, so I really like dribble moves like that. And then for the jump shot, the base is Ben Shepherd. I absolutely love this base. Release 1 is Oscar Robertson, release 2 is Sadiq Bey, and the blending is 82% Oscar Robertson, 18% Sadiq Bey, 100% release speed, and the shot timing I use is set point. Now, I will say most people like and enjoy push. So if you're a push user, don't switch to set point just to use this jump shot. Just use it on push. It is really good on push. All my friends use it on push. I like set point personally, and I was shooting lights out with this jump shot. It feels really smooth. You can clearly see the shot timing release. For set point, it's before he flicks his wrist. For push, it's right when he's flicking his wrist. And then obviously, if you do release, it's at the end of the flick of the wrist. And the second jump shot I want to give y'all, just in case you don't like the Ben Shepherd jump shot, is base T-Mac, release 1 Oscar Robertson, release 2 Troy Brown Jr., and the blending is 80% Oscar Robertson, 20% Troy Brown Jr., 100% release speed, and again, the timing I use is set point, but most people like T-Mac on push. So if you're new to the game, I would try push first. If I could restart 2K this year, I would have gotten used to push instead of set point. I think it's objectively better, but I'm a set point dude now. It is what it is. Can't change it. I hate how everything else feels because I got so used to set point. And if you see my city stats this season, I haven't played much rec, but I am undefeated solely on this build, 5-0. We played a lot of comp teams. We played a bunch of clans. We played a bunch of GOAT tiers who have already sweated to level 40 this season. They may have bought it, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And one thing that I'm going to start doing in all my build videos that a lot of y'all have requested is showing y'all how I upgraded the build when I first made it. So right now, the build is an 89 overall. I can upgrade it to 91, but I wanted to show y'all before I upgrade what I upgraded before I played my very first game. I maxed out my driving dunk, I maxed out my 3-point rating, maxed out my ball handle, speed with ball. I literally had a 54 pass accuracy when playing with those games, and I had no issue whatsoever. I didn't even have the full 65. I maxed out my speed, maxed out my acceleration, maxed out my vertical, and maxed out my stamina. Obviously, I sacrificed on defense. That is not my job. That is not my role. And I had to sacrifice on my mid-range at first, which I can now upgrade at 91 overall, or I could choose to max out my pass accuracy so my passes get there a little quicker, and that's probably what I'll do. But anyways, y'all, that's all the information you need to dominate season 4 with this build. Let me know your thoughts on the build. Will you try the 6.5, or are you gonna stay with the meta 6.6 and the meta 6.8 builds? Y'all let me know in the comments. I love you all. Thank y'all so much for watching, and as always, keep grinding.
Ballin', 2K we never be falling. Rachel she never be calling. Still hitting shots while they steady be taunting. Ballin'.